So it's day 10 of the Captain's Blog, and you join us here at Acle, currently moored outside the Bridge Inn. And I've got up, and there was an awful lot of hail, and that hail sort of turned to rain, and every now and again, although I'm not sure you can see this, there's sort of snowflakes. So quite extraordinary. I think it's turning back now to more rainy, sort of sleety. But yes, it was a bright day. You can see the brightness there in the distance. The weather is coming, you know, in that direction. And first hail, then it stopped, then a bit of rain, and then snowflakes. So the plan for today is, well, hopefully this will stop. Depart here and head somewhere, pack everything up, do the boat review, and then we'll moor near Norfolk Broads. So as far as blog goes and video of today, don't expect much. There's an awful lot of packing up to be done, and I want to do the boat review, which is lucky, because even if it's horrible weather, that's done inside. But I thought I'd just share that with you just this morning. So day continues. I'm not sure what the time is because I haven't got my watch on, but it's something probably like 9:15 in the morning, and just hoping it will stop so I can depart. This is the Bure as we're approaching the mouth of the River Thurn. It's looking even worse over there, as you can see. And yet over there behind us is a lot brighter and nicer. But interesting conditions nonetheless. So the plan for today, well, I'm not so sure actually. We need to end up in Roxham because I want to do the packing up, boat review. It's easy to take the boat back easily in the morning. But between then and now, I was just going to go and have a little bit of a cruise about. However, I'm not too sure where I might want to cruise about to. And also, don't expect very much video today. This is my last full day, so I sort of take it as a bit of a day off. But I very much enjoy doing these Captain's Blogs. I hope you enjoy watching them. There's no plans, no scripts. It really is boating as it happens, and sometimes you get a good day and interesting stuff, and other times not so much. But all it is a video diary of my travels, bringing you guys along, and of course the boat review, to have a nice in-depth look at different boats that I've been on. And there are small differences. Take Belmore TC for example, same mould, layout slightly different toilet to this one. Belmore TC has a slightly larger toilet with the foot pedal. This one has the traditional sort of pump action and a smaller bowl, so it's more comfortable to sit on the throne on TC than Belmore. But as I say, I hope you enjoy watching these videos. I know I get comments and meet people thank me for them and so on and so forth. This is not, some people, you know, commented recently, has the captain retired? And where's his videos? This is just literally as and when I go on Norfolk Broads, I'll take the camera and I'll do a blog. It's not something I get paid for, it's just something I do. And that's equally why when people say, have you reviewed such and such a boat? No, because I haven't hired it. But anyway, from a very windy, wet, choppy River Bure, I really quite like this. Yes, it's nice with the sunshine, but when it gets a bit wild and you're snug in your boat, there's nothing wrong with that either. Well, I'll update you later, but as I say, don't expect too much video today. But thank you very much for comments, and I'll end the vlog properly later, but I'm just going to have a little bit of enjoyment of night time, as ever though more as it happens. So the weather has changed once again, blue sky all round, sun's out. We haven't even reached the mouth of the River Thurn yet. So I think I'm going to pop down to look at Womack water and where they've done all this new bank profiling and stuff, because I haven't actually seen it myself. So see what that's like. And just have a pootle around. A lot of traffic on the water at the moment. A lot of boats in a stream going off in the direction of Acle. If they're going down to Acle and beyond, you know, Yarmouth, then they're doing it at the wrong state of tide. If they're doing that, they could just be going to Acle, they could be going to Stokesby, but you don't want to be going across towards Braden Water when the tide's already coming in, because it means by the time you get down there, it's not going to be low water or slack water. It's going to be sort of too little room under the bridges for most boats. But this is a lovely time of year to come on the river, because you've got less chilliness, you've got variable weather, yes, typical April sunshine and showers, you've got cheaper prices, and of course what you've also got is more availability of moorings because there's less other boats. So as you can see, we're on the River Thurn now. There's as I say, quite a lot of traffic going on actually. Really is surprising. There's boats going down it, there's boats, well there's one there, there's two others round the bend. But I've just had rather a spooky experience, and I can demonstrate. You see out there, you can just see the roofs of those boats moving above the reeds. So let me just explain this, because this is weird. So I'm coming up the River Bure towards the River Thurn, and any of you that have been there will know that as you approach the mouth of the Thurn, there's a big bend. And so some boats, in fact the two we just saw in front of us, had to come along the River Bure and were peeling off down the River Thurn. And I could see another boat, clearly a dual helm, turned out to be an Alpha 44 moulded boat from Horning Ferry Marina, was coming along, and I could see that because of the roof line above the reeds. However, not too far behind it was what I can best describe as sort of looking like quite a boxy, centre cockpit, woody looking boat, and I could only see just the top of this canopy, but I was intrigued to see what the rest of the boat was like. You know, what did this canopy belong to, and also, you know, was the Horning Ferry Marina boat going to go down the Bure, or is it going to peel off and go down the Thurn? Well, it turned out it was going to go down the Bure, and as I went down the Thurn, I looked to my left, which then means you can see down that bend of the Bure, expecting to see this boat with this interesting canopy, and nothing was there. So that's a bit spooky. Just by the way, really quickly, if you're on the River Thurn, there's a period between the farm buildings, not too far away from, I suppose, the turn off for Womack Dyke and Womack Water, and you can see across the marshes if you've got a boat that enables you to see up high, and you'll come into line exactly with St Benet's Abbey, the ruins of that, and then behind it you'll see Ranworth Church, and I'm never quite sure if it's St Margaret's or St Helens, but I think it's St Helens Church at Ranworth. And it's just fascinating how flat the marshland is, and how these structures pop up, very little trees, and also how in line they are with each other from this perspective. So well worth keeping an eye out on your left hand side as you come down the River Thurn, just to have a look over there. So these Sunday afternoon drivers I can't really complain. But the Riverton is a 5 mile an hour speed limit, and we're not doing 5 mile an hour. So we're going to be turning left and going down Womack Dyke, and goodness me, what a change. Actually, in this very boat in 2012, moored just where that 5 mile an hour sign is. That's just at the beginning there, just there. And a sort of emergency mooring because couldn't find anywhere else. I think it was, you know, it was in the season. Keep an eye on Siesta over here. I think he's going to try and turn left, but is he going to go? You are, aren't you? No? No? No. Okay. Right, so let's see what we can see out the window here. Oh, lovely wind on the microphones. Well, what do we do? Let's shut the window so you don't get the wind on the microphones, but look at this. So this used to all be grass and key heading and reeds, and as you can see now it's bare, barren. Of course there is going to be growth, you can just see it just here, down here, some green shoots coming through. That was the famous speed limit sign at San Julian I used to stop the boat drifting down when I left it in gear and got off. But look at this, I mean, it's the water's almost overtopping the bank. You remember this mooring over here on our right hand side? Well, that's another casualty now. There's a very nice mooring there. Now there used to be sort of a cut, a lay-by almost. And I wonder if they've sort of smoothed that out. See, basically this is the river, and then the bank, and then the flood bank, and then behind it is the runoff area. But as I said recently, when this had key heading, I know, yeah, here's the lay-by. You see, they kept the lay-by sort of that goes in. That was my really lovely mooring that used to be right there. Now once this has grown up, you see it will look like this. But of course you won't understand when you see that there's this behind it. And this is the thing. So all of this was mooring, and now, well, you could moor there. But because what the Broads Authority would prefer you to do is to use their 24-hour moorings, which just looks so different. I just can't believe it, because this used to have, well, it used to all be like this, all reeds. And here's the formal moorings. So what a different sight this all is now. You can see here where it's obviously they did this work before, and you've got the growth now coming through. So this is all going to be reeds. Now I don't believe there's anything to stop you mooring here. Once they let the reeds grow there, remove these red stakes. be sort of returned back to nature. But without the key heading, what I was going to say is that surely to goodness, when you've got key heading, it stops the water lapping at the mud, and here you've got the water lapping at the mud, which has to disturb it and constantly just little bit erode it, which must create more silt in the water stream. I don't see how it can't. Anyway, that is Womack Dyke now, 24th of April 2016. So just down there is the Jolly Richie, which during my doing the boat review I noticed wasn't going anywhere and was actually sort of off into the reeds on the left and then pirouetting around, and you know, boats were going left and right and goodness knows, and I thought, what on earth's happened to them? So I stopped doing the review and I phoned Broads Control, and they've contacted Richardson's. Apparently they've got something around their propeller. Broads Control then phoned me back to thank me for reporting it. So I've done my good deed, and they're obviously awaiting rescue. They've put the mud weight down now as well, so at least they're not sort of drifting aimlessly about. And yes, a sad thing that can happen to the best of us. I don't know if it's a rope or something just in the water. I don't want to, you know, cast any judgment, but at least helps on the way for them. As for here, well, this is post-boat review, so I've gone through the whole boat and cleared everything away. You know, all the surfaces have been cleaned and polished prior to the review happening, but all of what you see that's out had to be put away, and sort of some of it put outside while I was in here, and then when I was outside, bring in here, and so on and so forth. So now it's sort of half back to that lived-in appearance with stuff out, but basically I now feel like, you know, that's it, I'm done, I'm off duty now. It's, as you can see, just coming up to well, 3 o'clock, and the rain is now gone. It keeps, you know, this day with the rain, it's crazy. So I know where we want to go today. I was actually thinking about popping into Wroxham and getting some, you know, lunch or something, or maybe even the Horning, pop in there. I mean, I don't really want to get up super early to get back to base for 9 o'clock, so I do like the idea of overnighting near to the base. So Wroxham, Broad, the moorings there are ideal, or Sow House. Not so ideal at Sow House for mobile phone signal though. But I would guess that the yard is pretty damn full at the present time, and usually what happens is the guys get there at sort of, you know, 7:30, 8 o'clock and start moving around boats, so that the boats that are due back have a little slot to go into. But I have got something to eat tonight, so it's not, you know, absolute, oh Christ almighty, but I just thought to myself, you know, I could do that. I'm really amazed with the amount of traffic that's about. I mean, these moorings here are reasonably full now. So this is the 24th of April, sunshine and showers, but overall very nice, you know, boating conditions really. So it just goes to show you there's an awful lot of people that are, you know, hiring already out of season. But you know what? Something I've learnt about this trip more than others is I really found the southern rivers very nice and peaceful, spacious, open, the landscape, the places you can go to down there, and there's something that, you know, is kind of like, I don't think they're as bad as all that, you know, not just like you know, as bad as all that as in like, you know, got a long way to go, but I really think that, you know, I need to spend more time down there, and I think you should spend more time down there. I know lots of people down on, oh my god, no, don't send them down here. But seriously, you've got a hell of a lot of stuff going on down there that you haven't got up here, and it's only Breydon Water, which isn't really scary at all to cross, that's separating, you know, miles and miles of open landscape, beautiful countryside, great places to eat and drink, Beccles to visit, Norwich to visit, Alton Broad, and then you can get a train if you wanted, or wanted to do what I was going to do and walk into town. And then you've got the seaside, which I think's better than Great Yarmouth. But yeah, you've got a lot of choice. Whereas up here, like I'm talking about going to Wroxham, if I can't moor in Wroxham at a boatyard, you're stuffed. If you can't get under Wroxham Bridge, you're stuffed, because only in the high season, when there's loads of boats out and the boatyards are half empty, can you then think, oh, there's a mooring spot, I'll go there. On the southern rivers, if you said to yourself, let's go to Beccles, you could phone up the yacht station, say, oh hi, we're thinking about coming there, let's book a mooring. Yep, okay, cheers. And then you get there, you know your mooring's there, booked, rating. So then you just wander into Beccles for a really nice meal. So yeah, the southern rivers, highly undervalued resource, and I think the northern rivers are being clogged up with, there's too much clogging up here, and not so much sending everybody down south and clogging up the south, but just a more even distribution. And I think genuinely that's what you used to have when there was more hire boatyards on the southern rivers, was people would hire on the southern rivers and stay on the southern rivers and spend a week down there, and they'd have a great time down there. And that just means that now there's all the hire yards are concentrated up north. It means, yeah, there's a couple of hire boatyards down south, but what I mean is the majority are up here on the northern rivers, and the majority of hirers don't venture south. So it means that with the loss of a lot of moorings, like we saw earlier at Womack, the dike that leads to Womack Water, it's putting a great strain on things. And forgive me for being so opinionated, but as I said, this is sort of out of season. Yes, there's some spaces along here you can come and moor, but it's already getting a bit full, and if this was July, this would be absolutely full, and Ludden would be absolutely full, and Ranworth would be absolutely full, and then you've got people going, oh, where can we moor? And then you can't go and moor at Thurnmouth moorings, and the wild moorings that I often use in my blogs. I've said to you when I've come in season, oh, don't worry, we'll go down to Womack Dyke and we'll wild moor there. You could do it now, but it's not very welcoming. It's almost like, stay away, these banks, these muddy banks, ugh, so yeah, I don't know where that big rant came from, but hey ho, that's just what I'm thinking at the moment. So there, it's my blog and I can say it. What am I going to do now? Get underway again, head towards Wroxham, and answer whoever's texting me and see what's going on. But I think if it's alright with you, I'll end this series of the Captain's blog here at St Benet's Abbey. Well, the moorings for, I never know really what to call it, St Benet's. We just call it St Benet's. The moorings for St Benet's. So that's been the Captain's blog. A very crazy time it feels now looking back. Where did we start? We started in Wroxham. Sheila was with me. We took the boat over. We spent time up here. We got under Ludden Bridge. We went up to Stan. I thought we went up to Stan. We did. I think earlier I was talking about, in the review about how much fuel we've used, about half a tank. And I said, there's virtually been everywhere down south, Norwich, Alton, Broad, blah, blah, blah. But we didn't go to Stan. We did go to Stanham because I had to go and see Charlie. So we went up there. Then we came back down through the bridge. And then took Sheila back to Wroxham. She got on the train back to London. And then I've been out, left there, all the way down south. Loddon, Norwich, Rockland Broad, went in and had to look at that, didn't we? God blimey, they're a bit keen, aren't they? There was text. Come on, answer. Roar! No, I'm blogging. So we've done all this stuff, and over a 10-night period. And when you're at the end of it and you look back, it's like, wow, that's a hell of a lot of stuff. Remember 8.5 hours at the helm going to Alton Broad? Where did we go from? We went from Wroxham to Alton Broad. Just like that. Yeah, just like that. And it was like 8.5 hours. I think it was a bit more. It might have been 9 or something. Anyway, whatever. It was a long day. So it's been a really nice break for me. I hope you've enjoyed it. I don't know what we've captured at this stage. I've not edited it. I've not looked at anything. But it's been a really nice time. I don't know when I'm going to be back doing the blog. I don't know when I'm going to hire again or what. But I do know that obviously there'll be more opportunities to spend time on the water on Broad Ambition. And I'm just looking forward to that, and I'll bring you guys along. So there we are. Thanks for your support, thanks for your comments, thanks for coming and saying hello. The various people that have. I do my best. I hope you enjoy it. But for now, it's not more as it happens. That's been what it is.